Hey, happy Valentine's Day. I have this flow chart that I had made a few years ago in honor of Valentine's Day when I was teaching a little workshop, little restorative yoga workshop. And so I just figured I would share some of the cool things about the heart that you may or may not know, both physical and also a little bit of the esoteric. So the cool thing that I loved to learn about the heart, which I think is the best thing to start with because it is the first, is that the heart's the first organ formed, and the cells, the embryonic cells that are formed to make the heart in utero are the same cells that you're gonna die with. Like the heart does not, those cells do not die and regenerate like all the other parts of the body. The heart cells stay the same from in utero till you die. And those are the ones that will, go into the ground or get donated to somebody else or something. And I think that is such an extraordinary thing because to me, it speaks to the loyalty of the heart. It is your most loyal organ. And loyalty, isn't that part of what we think of when we think of love? Like loyalty and love kind of have a relationship together, right? And so loyalty is what creates deep bonds. Love is what creates deep bonds. And bonds are what inspire loyalty. And loyalty is what those cells are to us. They are loyal. So it makes sense to me that the heart is the organ that got associated with love. Another reason it makes sense to me why the heart is the organ that got associated with love is because it turns out that there are about 40,000 neuron cells, but they're in the heart. And they are these electromagnetic neuron cells that speak to the brain. So the heart actually has it has mind, and it has emotion, and it has memory. This is why when sometimes we hear stories about when someone has a heart transplant, the person who received the heart craves the things that the donor used to like, or has memories of things that the donor had experienced. Murders have been solved this way. I mean, it's extraordinary. The heart carries intelligence, and it carries emotional intelligence. So interestingly, piggybacking on that, when people get hooked up to a heart monitor that will show their heart rhythm, depending on what their emotion is, the heart rhythm changes. And so the more we can regulate our emotion to be towards something like appreciation or joy or love or gratitude, the more the heartbeat becomes regular. The heartbeat becomes very irregular when we're enraged, angry, sad, stressed. So it is actually, a heart healthy practice to learn to regulate our emotions and also to do things in life that make it more possible for our emotions to be regulated. Then when the heart that's called heart coherence, when the heart's rhythm is in coherence, pretty levelly, if we marry this with our breath to the mind through delegated emotion and intention, we can bring the heart and the mind rhythm in coherence. So this is shown when people are tested with brain and heart monitors to show, and the patterns will be in tandem when we get into heart and brain coherence. And this is a very, very, very powerful state because of the positive effects it has on our physiology, our emotions, and also for our ability to be creators and manifestors. This is where we can really, this is the playground for all that stuff to happen. The heart is called the Anahata chakra, and it's a really important chakra. I mean, they're all important, but what's cool about the heart center is that it ties the bottom three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, to the top three, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. These bottom three are our chakras associated with living life on earth, with stability, with creation, with doing, with making and living, and either running to or running from something, or this is the doing of life part of our chakra system. And this is the consciousness and divinity part, the throat. We're talking about verbal and more telepathic communication at the throat. We're talking about third eye, which is seeing beyond what could be seen, seeing our internal and the unseeable external, and then the crown opening up to divinity. And the heart brings these two chakra systems together. And like the heart itself, which is an actual organ of bringing in and releasing out, this is the same with the chakra system. It's bringing two different things in and feeding those different energies up and down the chakra system. The heart is also it's also both a yin and yang organ. It's a hollow organ, so that makes it more on the yin side, but it's a organ that's never empty because of the blood continuing to circulate, so that makes it more on the yang side. So it's a bit like, it's an organ that is like a yin-yang symbol, which is really, really cool. And it shows us that opposites can harmoniously coexist, like they do in the heart. The heart is a pair of pairs that do two opposite actions in harmony together for sustenance. So also, just a really, really cool organ in that way. And another thing that I think is really worth mentioning about the heart is that the work-rest ratio in the heart is skewed to there being a longer rest ratio after each contraction than the length of the contraction, which shows me that, to me, what that says is that, let's gain some inspiration from the heart and be sure to give ourselves the rest that we need, not just at night, but also throughout the day. A lot of times what I notice is, piggybacking on what yoga does for us. Yoga teaches us that we want to have a rest after our practice. Shavasana comes after the practice. Well, this is the same as when I am doing anything of great effort. I find myself, I do a big push and then I need to rest. And it doesn't need to be a big rest. It could be a 10 or 15-minute rest. But my brain and my body need to integrate whatever I had just done. So that ratio of rest to work is really important for us to honor and to, appreciate the heart's wisdom on that. And there's so much more I could talk about with the heart. It's really cool, and I'm very fascinated by the heart and the way the heart and the brain interact, the heart and the lungs. I didn't even go there, but I encourage you today to take a few minutes and, take a few breaths, place your hand on your heart, feel your heartbeat, breathe in rhythm with your heartbeat if you can, at the pace of your heartbeat. And when you inhale, breathe in appreciation for this amazing organ that you have no potential. You don't have a potential without this organ. This is, you know, everything. So breathe in appreciation for this amazing organ on this day and every day. And when you exhale, breathe that out to all of yourself and beyond yourself into the world, and allow that electromagnetic field of your heart to reach far beyond you, as it truly, truly does. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.